Thank goodness. Okay. Well, same as always, I have to get the questions first.
Whose call was it? To put Vlad in the leadoff spot?
Whose calls have been all year to put them anywhere?
You said last night, dude.
What did I just ask you? Answer my question.
Yours.
Thank you. It was my call. He okayed it though. Can't let you get away that easy on the last day.
You take a look back at this season, your thoughts about it, did it go as well as you thought it would, and disappointments, positives?
Well, that's a lot for me to cover in a short period of time. It wound up, and it's winding up as a good season. It's a positive season. I don't think any manager could sit down and say that it went as well as he thought it would. I thought we would do better. I felt like this club was capable of doing better. The one thing about this club, though, it never gave up. It kept battling, it kept fighting, giving the effort day in and day out. So I have no quarrels with that. The only thing I'm talking about right now is the record itself. I think we just gave away a few too many games. The road record could be better, much better. The home record was very, very nice. Although towards the end here, we lost the games we would not have lost earlier in the year at home. But overall, all in all, it's a very positive season. Our goal was to compete this year for the division title. Atlanta wouldn't cooperate with us. After that, as I said, we focused on the wild card, and we was in the running for that for a while. When we were eliminated from that, we focused on winding up the season in second place and being 500 or better. And we accomplished both of those goals. So, as I said, all in all, I am satisfied with the season. People said to me in spring training that if I could bring this club in at 500, I would be a miracle worker. And I told them I wouldn't accept that, not in spring training. But I said if I got the effort from this team and I was satisfied with the effort at the end of the year and we played 500, then I would accept it. And I am very pleased with the effort, and I will accept the record. But I feel like, and I'm sure they feel like, they could have played better.
What could have happened to make it better, to get you to that step that you could have won the wild card? Or
Well, we could have played better defense. That's number one. Two of the pitchers that we counted on to carry the big part of the load got off the bad starts, and for most of the season wasn't up to par. And Harvey and Tony Armas. And the bullpen was solid the first half of the season, especially the closers. And we kind of stumbled coming out of the break in the bullpen. Starting pitchers started to get a little better. Oakland was very solid all year long for us, except maybe 2 or 3 starts. And Cologne was a real shot in the arm for us when we acquired him. And offensively, Lee Stevens, we felt like he would give us the punch. Cabrera would give us an added punch and play good defense. We overall would play better defense, just overall team defense, which we didn't do. And I think it showed up in our record, especially against Atlanta. They really jumped on our mistakes and took advantage of them. And beat us in those ball games, although we were in most of those games. And situational baseball could have been played a little better. I know the record may look at it, I may look at the record and it doesn't prove as bad as I thought it is, but with men on third base with less than 2 outs, I didn't think we really did a very good job of getting that man in. And those are so as far as I'm concerned, those are free runs, as I call them, free RBIs, and we just didn't do well in those situations. And just fundamentally, we could have been a little sounder. But again, too, when you don't win, you can look back on those things. When you win, you ignore them, you overlook them, and you just accept them because you're a winner. But that is the difference in this ball club of being where it is now and taking the next step.
Would you like to come back next year?
Well, if I answered that question right now, I'd be answering with my heart. And I don't like to answer questions of that significance with my heart. So I'm going to take 2 weeks to a month at home, kind of relax, talk to some people, and get some answers. And then I'll turn my attention to that decision. The first thing that has to happen in that, though, is you have to be wanted. You have to be asked to come back. And the other is then I'll have to answer yes or no to it. But right now, I'd rather not do that because it would be an answer from the heart, and I don't want to do that.
What do you see for the future of the Expos?
It's a very bright future. If the core of this ball club is held together and additions are made where it's needed, and the right additions, and they continue with this attitude that they have now and play a little better fundamental baseball, and it's a very bright future here. The core of this ball club is still young enough to win for a number of years. And that's it. That's all I can say. It is a bright future here, and it's a good situation to be in.
So then how do you feel about all this talk of contraction?
Well, the talk is not there anymore. It's been taken off the board to at least 07, I think it is, isn't it? The future is there for the Expos at least until then, and I don't think contraction will ever be seriously, I don't know, taken again. And by then, there's a couple of world championships. There's no way they can eliminate it.
Did you enjoy your season here in Montreal personally?
Yes, I did, very much so. Number one, the players made it worthwhile, and the coaching staff did a tremendous job. I haven't given them enough credit over the year. They've done a tremendous job with this ball club. Took an awful load off of me over the course of the season. I'm a believer in hiring people and giving them the opportunity to do their job without interference from me. And they did that. And I appreciate the effort that they put in with the players. They worked very hard with the players. And I enjoyed it. The media was very fair. The fans were great. And the public here, as far as I'm concerned, made me feel at home. The enthusiasm on the streets picked up from anonymous on the streets to, "Hey Frank, how are you doing? Can you spare $1?" So it picked up as the season went along.
Frank, you said you have to talk from the heart, but would you like to manage though? Like, you still feel you can and want to and have the desire to manage?
I know I can still manage. There's no doubt about that. I have the feel for managing. It's just a matter, really, as if I want to do it, and for how long. I don't want to look at this, if I even decide to come back next year. It wouldn't be a long range thing, unless someone locked me up for 5 or 6 years. But I know I can manage. I know I have the feel for managing, and I could do it. Physically, at my age, it can change from one year to the next, physically. But right now, I feel great. I feel great. The energy is there. The health is there. The desire is there. The will is there. And those things are there. Those are one of the answers I had to get from this year. And it held up real good over the course of the year. And I feel good about it. Whether I want to do it long range or something like that, that's another thing I haven't even given any thought to.
Would it have helped this team at all if they had known from the start of the year that they were going to be around intact somewhere rather than operating under the idea that the team was going to be possibly contracted?
Which perspective? The players?
From the players.
No, I don't think so. The players, I don't think let that interfere with what they did and how they went about their work. The front office and the moves they might have been able to make would have probably certainly been a little different. Being prepared a little bit better and having a better game plan as far as myself and the coaching staff is concerned, yes. But other than with the players, I don't think it really made that big a difference. I don't think it had an influence on the season that they had.
I know you've only been here a year, but your feel from what you've gotten from this city and coming to the ballpark every day, would it be a shame if this team would not exist in this city down the line?
I'm not allowed to answer that.
Talk from your heart.
It's gotten me in trouble too many times. I'm not allowed to answer that.
The references you make to not playing good fundamental baseball and team defense, and that, is there a reason for that, or is it just having a young club?
No, Young has no excuse for not playing team defense. Lack of concentration, injuries, playing some people out of their natural position, not focused, some bad hops here and there, bad official scoring here and there. All of that plays a part in it. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not blaming official scoring or anything like that. But all that plays a part in team defense. Also, some mental, decisions that you make out on the field that don't show up in the official scoring as an error. Some bad decisions. But as I said, that's just something I thought would be a sounder at looking at this ball club and looking at the people at their positions going into the season. And it just wasn't to be, and it's not something you can will on someone. It's something that the individual has to focus at, work at, and correct as far as the physical errors are concerned. But this team is capable of playing better defense than they played this year.
What's the big thing this club needs on the field this year to start with?
Well, I don't want to sound like I'm going to be here next year right now. But it certainly could improve the bullpen. Possibly, I know another starter, solid starter. The bench could be upgraded, and I think it will. Some of the parts are here right now. And take a look at third base and left field. And I think if you did that in first base, a decision has to be made at first base. And I think if this club could do that, it could have a real good chance to continue next year. And health plays a lot into it too. Injuries plays a lot into it. And this is why this team has to get some depth on it, so you can sustain those injuries. When someone goes down or someone has a slump, you can plug someone else in for a short period of time and not lose much at that position. And that's what you would focus on when you're improving your bench. Not only just pinch hitting or pinch running, but also to be able to play for short periods of time and not have a drop off at that position.
Frank, you've had a couple of rocky moments during the season. Overall, would you look back and say this has been a positive year that you're glad you decided to manage?
Yeah, I have no regrets. The disagreements I had with a few players didn't sour my thought about managing this ball club. Everywhere I've been, I've had those type of disagreements over the course of the year. and I'm sure most other managers have had their share of it also. It's just that what you don't want, and it didn't happen here, is to tear a ball club apart. Some disagreements sometimes between managers and certain players can tear a ball club apart, have a real effect on, a negative effect on the play of the ball club, and that didn't affect this ball club here, and it certainly didn't affect my enthusiasm for deciding to come back and manage this year and manage this ball club. I have nothing but real good feelings and good thoughts about this ball club, and I intend to tell them that before the start of the game today about that and what I feel like they have to do or should do to be able to take the next step. And I'm proud of this ball club. I'm proud of the ball club.
Right, what changes did you notice between the ball player today versus the ball players of the last time you were managing?
Not much. The attitude and the approach is about the same, really, as when I last managed. And I've been around the game enough to see the players and the attitudes and the changes by being working with the commissioner's office and being around the ballpark. So that didn't catch me off guard or catch me by surprise, anything like that. Everybody wants to play today. Every player wants to play. Every player feels like he should be in the starting lineup. Nobody wants to come out when they're in a slump. Nobody wants to miss a turn when they're in a slump or be taken out of the rotation but not used out of the bullpen. And that makes it a little bit more difficult because you can only play 9 people at a time. And certain people, especially with this ball club and successful ball clubs, are going to play every day, just about. And that's the way it has to be. I don't know if someone in right field probably got a chance to go to right field about 2 times this year. Barrow played a lot of ball games. Vidro played a lot of ball games. And that was about it. I'm very proud of the way the 2 young catchers came along this year. Michael Barrett and Snyder. They came along very well this year, handling the staff, calling the ball game, and handling their own offense. And hopefully they'll continue to improve. And if they do, they're going to be 2 hot commodities because it's just like pitching. Everyone is looking for catching. They especially can call a game and throw the way they can throw and give some offense to the ball club. So I'm very happy the way the progress that they made this year. And it's not that, I guess to answer your question, I don't even know if I answered it or not, but it's not that big a difference in players from year to year. It's not that big a difference in players 10 years ago as today because the changes had already been made as far as players' attitudes, players' I guess authority that they have or regulations, rules and regulations to protect them. And they understand that. They understand them very well today, that what can be done and what can't be done to them. So they may invoke them a little bit more. Not anything to do with this ball club, but the disabled list seems to be getting longer nowadays than in the past. Players don't seem to be eager to play with injuries. And again, I'm not talking about my ball club because I couldn't drag most of these guys out of the lineup even when they were hurting. But that's the attitude or attitude that I see in some ball players today.
And we'll take a couple more. Okay.
I'd just like to thank you all for your cooperation and in helping me this year. It made it my job easier dealing with you this year. I hope I didn't blow up at you too much. I hope I didn't steer you wrong too often. But I just answered questions the way I felt like would be best for you, not to mislead you totally anyway, and the ball club. And a lot of times I didn't have the answers at the time. So rather than give you a flat yes or no to it, I just felt like that I would give you a little evasive type answer, a little chatterbox a little bit. And when I knew the answer, I'd come back and punch you in the nose. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It made my job easier. Thank you again.
Calvin Castine at Olympic Stadium. Caleb Castine on the camera. We've just witnessed the last press conference, although I guess he's doing an interview now. Mr. Frank Robinson, the manager of the Montreal Expos for the year 2002. And just to state the obvious, possibly the last season for the Montreal Expos. Not the last season for the team once known as the Expos. If they should move, I doubt if any city would pick up this team and continue to call them the Expos. It's certainly not one of the all-time great nicknames in the world. But that hasn't been decided yet. There's still a lot of optimism that the Expos will be back here in Montreal for the 2003 season, and some optimism that they'll be back here beyond that. If Caleb can probably look at the outfield a little bit, you can see that there are fans on the field. Yesterday, this is Sunday, this is an afternoon game, September 29th, 2002. Yesterday on Saturday, it was the Old Timers game, or what they called it was the Alumni game. And majority of those alumni or old timers are back, former Expos, and they are signing autographs on the field. And as you can see from the people hanging around by the rope over there, some people are just content being on the field. I'm sure they'll wander over and get an autograph or two, but they're just content to actually be here on the edge of the infield in Olympic Stadium, just kind of soaking in. And it's kind of a special day to soak that in when they all realize that this could be the last time the Expos are here. The team that's here today to face the Expos is the Cincinnati Reds, and that's probably appropriate because Frank Robinson broke in the middle 1950s with the Cincinnati Reds. And much has been made this year of Brad Wilkerson hitting 20 home runs, setting a new Expos record for a rookie for home runs. But when Frank Robinson broke in, he hit 38 home runs, and that was the record for many years. He had 38 home runs as a rookie, and as most people know, he ended up with 586 for a total. Frank was also the first black manager, the first manager to break the color line. And of course, Montreal was the place where Jackie Robinson, no relation to Frank, broke the color barrier for players in Major League Baseball. So a lot of history here, a lot of history with Frank Robinson. And like most people, I'm hoping that history will continue. So for Caleb Castine, we're going to pause for now, and we'll pick up with the opening game ceremonies on the possible last game at Olympic Stadium. On this last day of the season, where'd they go? Lost them in the lights. See one gentleman up there, but there's more. A sight we normally see only in the, there's some more. Opening day crowd here the last several years. That's people in the upper deck. Crowd of 35,000 plus is expected. Probably be the second highest crowd of the season. Sitting in the yellow section behind home plate in the upper deck.
time since 1996. Of course, one big thing to look forward to today. Vladimir Guerrero sitting on 39 home runs, just a couple of inches farther. Yesterday's place in right field will become the fourth player in history with 40. They've been known for those Expos, Frank Robinson, and where Montreal Expos. Managed by Frank Robinson. Le premier frappeur, batting first, le voltigeur de droite, le numéro 27, right fielder number 27, Vladimir Guerrero. Le deuxième frappeur, batting second, le voltigeur de centre, le numéro 19, center fielder number 19, Andy Shields. Le troisième frappeur, le troisième, le numéro 2, third baseman, number 2, Jamie Harrell. Le quatrième frappeur, batting fourth, le deuxième, le numéro 3, second baseman, number 3, Jose Pedro. Le cinquième frappeur, batting fifth, le numéro 18, shortstop, number 18, Orlando Cabrera. Le sixième frappeur, batting sixth, le premier but, le numéro 6, first baseman, number 6, Grant Anderson. Le septième frappeur, batting seventh, le voltigeur de gauche, le numéro 29, left fielder, number 29, Lance Vicky. Le huitième frappeur, batting eighth, le receveur, le numéro 5, catcher, number 5, Michael Barnes. Et le neuvième frappeur, batting ninth, le lanceur, le numéro 47, pitcher, number 47, Tim Drew. History to win 10 games in each league in one season. He compiled a 10-4 record with the Indians and a 10-4 record with the Expos. Pour lui remettre l'étoile de l'artiste Carlo Constantino, accueillons le directeur général des Expos, M. Omar Minaya.
Omar Minaya is going to make a presentation to Bartolo Colon, who won 10 games with the Indians before coming here and winning 10 more games with the Expos. So 20-game winner the hard way. You see the Press Republicans' Mike Dowd over on the far side. And here's Colon being honored by Omar Minaya. And Mike Dowd over there taking the pictures.
Félicitations, Bartolo. Congratulations, Bartolo.
UP brought his baby boy with him today. Want somebody to take the picture of him and his baby. You can see he's a proud father. Wonder what the boy's name is. It's a big kiss from Daddy. Looks just like him. Now I think somebody wants him back. He's gonna make the most of this, I guess. Snoopy is autographing his baby's shoes, the soles of the shoes. And we'll throw the kid back in the stands, I guess. There he goes.
Players are accompanied on the field today by former Expos players.
And all the alumni are here for something here. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Stand with the players as they introduce them, probably. See Al Oliver, who last night was on hand to witness the breaking of his all-time hit record as Vladimir Guerrero collected hit number 205 to break Al Oliver's record of 204, 204 hits in a season. All-time Expos record until last night.
Le premier frappeur dans les Reds, Mike Desjardins, batting first for the Reds, center fielder Reggie Taylor.
Reggie Taylor will lead off in the possible last game here at Olympic Stadium. Tim Drew gets the nod as the starting pitcher for the Expos. Comes in with a 2.60 ERA, no wins, no losses. Jose Guillen on deck. We plan on bringing you this first inning and hopefully the last inning. One and two the count. Guerrero in right. And down. Now Jose Guillen. That's the right fielder. Taylor was the center fielder. Two pitch, fouled into the crowd.
Troisième frappeur,
Todd Walker with 2 outs, nobody on. Adam Dunn on deck. Walker the second baseman, Dunn the first baseman. Strike three. 3 up, 3 down. Next up, Vladimir Guerrero. If you follow baseball at all, you know that in the history of baseball, there's only been 4 players who have hit 40 home runs and stolen 40 bases. There are 2 players right now with this last game of the season pending that are trying to reach that plateau. They've both stolen their 40 bases, but they're both stuck on 39 home runs. Vladimir Guerrero hit one last night that hit off the top of the wall, and according to the umpires and some of the people who saw the replay, it stayed in the park. Fans on their feet, hoping to do what they can to help him reach that goal, and Frank Robinson's doing what he can by inserting him in that starting lineup. Strike one. Every pitch that he doesn't hit is booed. The umpire calls it a ball or a strike. It gets booed. Line shot right to second. Guerrero is out. Had him played perfectly. Again, we'll only be bringing you the first and last innings, and maybe we'll sneak a shot of Guerrero in different at-bats through the course of the day. Andy Chavez, that came up at the end of the season, is really impressed. Everyone so far, he's hitting at a nice 300 and showing he has some good tools. He's been the center fielder, and Wilkerson has been playing first base. And Jimmy Haynes is the pitcher for Cincinnati. Comes in here with 15-9 record, a 3.99 ERA. Strikes out Chavez. And there's another guy who's been impressing people since coming up. He's hitting at 313. Jamie Carroll, third baseman. And they've got Jose Vidro hitting 312 for the entire season on deck. So a lot to like about the future of Expos, be they in Montreal or somewhere else. But to have a future with their current players, they need to have an owner. Because what it will take to keep these players next season, Major League Baseball is not willing to invest. So there has to be an owner between now and the next coming months. That completes the first inning here on Hometown Cable. Well, it's okay. It's going to come down to Guerrero's last at-bat in the 2002 season. Joey Eichen's going to lead off in the bottom of the 8th. Attendance has been announced today, 25,178. Total is 812,545 for the year. 812,545 for the 2002 season. In the bottom of the 8th, Expos leading the Cincinnati Reds 7-2. So this should be the last go-around for Montreal. And it could be the last go-around for Montreal. Eisen comes over and gets a little pine tar and rosin on his hands and steps back in. Try to hang on to his bat this time. Strike, 1 out. Guerrero hitting 336, 39 homers, 206 hits. Deep but foul. They're giving him the hit sign. The first base umpire said he went around. The cheers for Guerrero and the boos for the umpire mingled in. Robinson can't argue balls and strikes, but he's asking for some kind of explanation. Fans are throwing debris. That's not going to help matters. That's not helping matters. Bob Boone taking advantage of the situation, calling his team in. More or less taking advantage of the situation. But fans have to pay attention to this. Expos could forfeit this game if they don't start behaving out there. And that would be a pity to have the last game end that way. The Cincinnati left fielder stayed on the field. He's decided to help out here. That's nice of him. That's the bat boy. Excuse me, that's the bat boy. Not the left fielder. Oh, he was a small-looking left fielder. That's the bat boy helping out. Andy Chavez stepped in. We've missed the first pitch. It's a 1-1 count on him. 2 outs. And we're going to go to the top of the 9th inning. Expos leading 7-2. Son. Fans won't let him rest. Adam Dunn is the pitcher for the Reds. Now it's Russell Branyan. Coming out of the game. 1 out to go. Pena the batter. This ball game is over. Is Montreal Expos history over? At 4:05 on September 29th, 2002. Only time will tell. Security is tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Expos, thank you for your support during the 2002 baseball season. And I have to say, right now,
The players throwing balls into the stands. Keep shooting with that one. Keep shooting.